High above a beautiful green valley stood the towering cliffs of Silver Ridge. Many eagles lived there. They were powerful birds. They soared through the clouds. They hunted with confidence. They flew higher than any other creature in the valley. Among them lived a young eagle named Orion. But Orion had a problem. While other young eagles learned to fly quickly, Orion struggled. His wings were smaller. His balance was poor. Whenever he tried to glide, he lost control. The other young eagles laughed. "Look at him. He calls himself an eagle? He can't even stay in the air." Every failure hurt Orion deeply. Still, every morning he climbed to the edge of the cliff and tried again. And every day he fell. Not to the ground, but onto lower rocks where he landed awkwardly and embarrassed. Weeks passed. Nothing improved. The other eagles grew stronger. Orion stayed behind. Slowly, doubt began filling his heart. Maybe they were right. Maybe he wasn't meant to fly. One evening, Orion sat alone on a rocky ledge. The sun was disappearing behind the mountains. The sky glowed orange and purple. Below him the valley stretched endlessly. For the first time, Orion thought about quitting. He watched other eagles flying effortlessly through the sky. A painful question entered his mind. Why keep trying if I always fail? As he sat there, he heard a gentle voice. Because the sky has not rejected you. Orion turned. Standing behind him was an old eagle named Atlas. Atlas was the oldest eagle in Silver Ridge. His feathers were gray. One of his wings carried an old scar. Every eagle respected him. Atlas sat beside Orion. "You are thinking about quitting," he said. Orion lowered his head. "I've tried everything. I practice every day. But I never improve." Atlas looked toward the horizon. Then he asked, "Do you know how rivers carve through mountains?" Orion shook his head. "They don't do it with power. They do it with persistence. One drop at a time." The next morning Atlas woke Orion before sunrise. The air was cold. The valley was silent. Atlas pointed toward the wind moving across the cliffs. "What do you see?" "The wind," Orion replied. Atlas nodded. "Can you see it?" "No. Yet it shapes trees. It shapes clouds. It shapes mountains. The strongest force is often the one that never stops." Then Atlas gave Orion a challenge. "Every day you will glide just a little farther than the day before." "Not much. Just a little." Orion expected some secret flying technique. Instead, he received a simple task. A tiny improvement every day. It sounded too easy, but he trusted Atlas, and he started. Day after day Orion practiced. Some days he improved. Some days he didn't. Sometimes he crashed. Sometimes he felt foolish. The other young eagles still laughed. "Why bother? You'll never be like us." But Orion remembered Atlas's words. One drop at a time. One step at a time. One flight at a time. Weeks became months. Something slowly changed. His wings grew stronger. His balance improved. His confidence increased. The changes were small, almost invisible, but they were real. And most importantly, he kept going. Then 1 year later, disaster struck. Dark clouds covered the valley. The strongest storm anyone could remember arrived. Rain poured endlessly. Thunder shook the cliffs. Powerful winds ripped through the mountains. Animals rushed to find shelter. Even the experienced eagles struggled. The storm lasted all night. And when morning arrived, terrible news spread across the valley. A family of rabbits was trapped on a narrow rock ledge near the flooded river. The water below was rising rapidly. No animal could reach them from the ground. Someone needed to fly through the storm. But the winds were still dangerous. Even the strongest eagles hesitated. One wrong move could be fatal. Fear spread throughout the valley. Time was running out. Orion listened quietly. His heart pounded. Every eagle around him was stronger, faster, more experienced. But then he remembered something. The countless mornings, the falls, the failures, the days he wanted to quit, the years of practice. He stepped forward. "I'll go." The other eagles stared. Some were shocked. Some laughed nervously. "You? This is too dangerous. But Atlas smiled. For the first time, he saw not a struggling eagle. He saw an eagle who had learned persistence. And persistence creates courage. Orion launched into the air. The wind hit him immediately. Rain stung his eyes. Thunder echoed around him. Several times powerful gusts pushed him off course. His wings ached. His body trembled. Fear whispered inside him. Turn back. You can't do this. But another voice spoke louder. Keep going. Every difficult day of training had prepared him for this moment. Not because training made him perfect, because training taught him not to quit. Slowly, carefully, Orion moved through the storm. Closer, closer, closer. Finally, he spotted the trapped rabbits. They were terrified. The ledge beneath them was beginning to crumble. Orion landed carefully. Then, one by one, he guided the rabbits towards safer ground. The journey was difficult. The winds fought against them. But Orion refused to stop. Hours later, the final rabbit reached safety. The valley erupted with joy. The family was saved. That evening every animal gathered beneath the cliffs. The rabbits thanked Orion. The eagles looked at him differently now. Not because he was the strongest. Not because he was the fastest. But because when things became difficult, he kept going. Atlas stood beside him. Then he spoke words the valley would remember for many years. Talent may start a journey. Strength may speed it up. But persistence is what finishes it. The animals cheered. And Orion finally understood something important. All those failures had not been wasting his time. They had been building his strength. Not the strength of his wings. The strength of his spirit. Final life lesson. Maybe you feel like Orion today. Maybe other people seem ahead of you. Maybe your progress feels slow. Maybe you have failed more times than you can count. But never forget this. Success is not reserved for people who never fail. Success belongs to people who keep going after they fail. You do not have to become amazing overnight. You do not have to be the fastest. You do not have to be the strongest. You only need to take the next step, and then the next one, and then another. Because one day, the thing that makes you different may become the very thing that helps you succeed. So if life feels hard right now, remember Orion the eagle. The eagle who could not fly well. The eagle who was mocked. The eagle who failed again and again, but never gave up. And because he never gave up, he eventually flew higher than anyone expected, including himself. If this story touched your heart, write, "I will keep going" in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories that help you learn powerful life lessons, improve your mindset, and become mentally stronger one small step at a time. Until next time, keep believing, keep growing, and most importantly, never give up.